This is TWiT.
Apple is going to start opening its retail stores next week.
I'm worried about that too, because they have like a couple cases in Korea and in California where one person coughed in the wrong place, and you see instant butterfly effect. It's like suddenly 19 people have it, then 37 people have it.
I'm not sure why they're choosing the stores they're choosing. It's Idaho, South Carolina, Alabama, and Alaska. I guess those are states that don't have a shelter-in-place ordinance in effect right now.
Yeah,
I think it's also
and there are states opening up.
Go ahead, Lori. Yeah.
There are states opening up right now, like just starting to. I think Wednesday is the reopening date for quite a few states where they're going to start allowing retail stores to open or restaurants to open, but with limited capacity. So they're following all the rules. And this speaks a little bit to what I was going to say, which is we're, almost 3 months into shelter in place across the country right now. And we are now in a position of the economy does have to get back on track in some capacity. What does that look like? Because the fact is we can't just shut down the entire country. Something has to keep going. And so right now there's the balance, Leo, that you were talking about of getting back to work, reopening the economy, but also protecting people that are most vulnerable to getting sick and causing more of a spread. What do we do? How do we do it?
I just don't know if we know how to do this safely.
Other countries seem to have done it much better than us, at least. Like they protected the economy and lowered the curve, flattened the curve. I forget the jargon, but they managed to do both while we were sort of caught flat-footed, back on our heels. And I include Quebec. We have the worst situation in Canada, and it doesn't seem to be getting better, and they still want to open anyway. So a lot of other countries did it way smarter than we did and protected the economy. So
Apple's Leo. I think not having tests really makes it hard. If you had tests, if you had widespread testing, you could perhaps, I guess, we're
isolate.
Not
that's what other countries did, right?
Yeah, you could. Wuhan just found 9 cases, and now as a result, they're testing everybody in Wuhan, China, 11 million people. Immediately.
And people won't wear masks. It's like an 80% reduction in transmission if everybody's wearing a mask. I'm like, no masks for me, suckers.
Yeah. So here's what Apple is going to do. They say we'll open initially with additional safety procedures, including temperature checks. That's what they did in China. That's what they did for SARS and MERS. The problem it seems to be with the current problem, COVID-19, is that there are asymptomatic carriers, so that's not perfect. Social distancing, that helps no matter what, and face coverings to ensure customers and employees continue to stay healthy. They say face coverings. I'm not clear if that means just the employees or if, as some places have done, they'll require that you wear a mask going into the store as well. A lot of places in this area are doing that. They're saying you can come in.
Costco famously.
Yeah. You have to wear a mask if you're coming in, which annoyed some people who said, I'll never shop at Costco again.
Did you see their tweet, Leo? There was a woman who put up this big thing saying something like live free and don't wear masks and boycott Costco. And Costco's social reply was, we look forward to watching your documentary one day.
Apple also says our new social distance protocol allows for a limited number of visitors in the store at one time. That's so you can distance. And I don't know if you've seen this where you are, but here in Petaluma, the Starbucks, which never closed because I guess coffee is essential, has
it is for me.
On the sidewalk out front, they have boxes where people are to stand so that they are standing in line 6 feet apart.
Supermarkets have that.
Yeah, supermarkets are doing that. They're putting up plexiglass barriers between the checkers with maybe little holes for the stuff.
This COVID has destroyed our because Apple stores were just redesigned in a way that made them so susceptible to COVID. Like they took apart everything that was a normal distancing part of a retail experience and jammed everyone together around like groves and promenades and forums and got us all as close together. And then COVID came around and goes, I shouldn't have done that.
Well, and even if you look at the office design, the open offices have turned out to be a disaster because you can't reopen because they're all open offices. So we're going to see most of these companies not really bringing anyone back until 2021. So it's going to be a really interesting, process. All of the things that and the question is, no one knows. We don't know if the test will mean that you're immune.
No idea.
We don't know whether the tracing will really work or whether it's really effective. And so that we're kind of in probably the most unknown unknown of unknowns we've had in our lifetime.
It's all a big experiment. Apple says we recommend, where possible, customers buy online for contactless delivery or in-store pickup. I guess it's not an in this case for Apple, there's no economic incentive to open up. I mean, I'm sure they're losing revenue, but they have a little extra, stored away for
the servicing has been hard.
day.
People are getting really angry about lack of servicing. Like,
I think that must be
they can't
it,
just get
right?
their computer fixed and picked up, and yeah.
With many working and learning from home, our primary focus will be providing service and support at the Genius Bar. So it's for people. Yeah. I mean, imagine you're trying to work from home, or your kids are trying to learn online, and your laptop dies, and Apple's not there to fix it. People could call support and send it in, though, right?
Yes, but that's not as quick typically as a Genius Bar.
Yeah, that could take a trip that could take 2 hours could take a week, because you have to send it in and wait for it to get sent back. Which
in some
cases
you can
just in some.
I think a lot of people don't. Go ahead.
In some retail situations, I've taken my Mac in, and literally an hour later, I walked out with it fixed. So. That having to send something in really does make put it at a disadvantage for people who can't be without their. I know a couple people who have something wrong with their computer or their AirPods or something like that, and they're just waiting because they can't afford to be without that device while without going to the store and having it just taken care of right away.
Here's a picture from Australia where Apple stores opened last week of people. You could see they're in line. They've got barriers set up in the mall, and then they're slowly, one by one, going into the store.
Every day is an iPhone launch day now.
Yeah. I'll tell you, as somebody who's in a higher risk population, I'm not anxious to go to a restaurant, to go to a store, to do any of this stuff, and I wonder how much people are gonna.
Ben Thompson was tweeting about going out for Mother's Day because Taiwan has been reopening, and they did that. They did the isolation, the masks, the contact tracing, all of that stuff, and they're returning to functionality without the anxiety. It's a model I hope we start going towards.
0 cases in Taiwan, so that's maybe
going on for like 2 weeks, and I think Hong Kong is going on for 2 weeks. Vietnam is going on for 10 days, 2 weeks.
Here's some video.
Like, we know what works. We just lack the will to do it.
Here's some video from the Australian Apple stores. Everybody in masks. It doesn't feel super safe to me, but maybe I'm just I'm a germaphobe like everybody is.
The guy taking photographs.
Yeah, you're a celebrity just for taking your life in your hands and going to.
I don't mean
Apple
to be bitter. I apologize. I've just been sheltered in place for so long, like the rest of us.
Apple stores in Germany reopening May 11th. The Idaho store opened yesterday. So Apple's slowly reopening. It's been how long? Not quite 2 months that they've been closed all over the world.
It closed in April, right? Early April.
Yeah. And remember that the stores in China reopened months ago. South Korea is opening now. Australia, as I mentioned, Austria opening, and a few states in the U.S. and more stores will be reopening soon.